make a move at quarterback coach without talking to him first. Rodgers said, quote, "I thought that was an interesting change, really, without consulting me." So, CeCe, how big a deal is changing quarterback coaches without Aaron Rodgers' consent, and how big a deal is his unhappiness at this point in his recovery process?
Well, we know, as broadcasters with Fox, that we have certain people on the staff within the organization that personally work with us. Now, we probably have attachments to certain members of the staff who do more work with us, help us with our information. And if they were to leave and you didn't have any type of knowledge of it, or you couldn't stop it or anything, like, we would be very upset. Now, as a quarterback, if your offensive coordinator is not the head coach, which, you know, in Green Bay, we know that they've had some, you know, who's going to call the plays, who's not going to call the plays. I think this is criminal. You have one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. What would it take just to call him and ask him, Aaron? Well, no, forget asking him. Aaron, we're getting ready to make a change at quarterback coach. Is there anyone that you might think be interested? Or these are the three coaches that I'm interested in. Do you know any of these guys?
Well, CeCe, what about calling him and saying, we want to make the change?
What do you think?
Should we?
Yeah.
Like, I understand.
Well, no. If you've decided to fire the guy,
but my question is,
you've already decided to fire him.
Why would you decide to fire him if Aaron Rodgers likes him? I understand that with a coordinator or a head coach, even a player such as Aaron Rodgers cannot dictate that. You told me Eli Manning doesn't get to pick his coach when Ben McAdoo went there. I understand that. But the quarterback's coach, there's only one quarterback on Green Bay that matters. It's Aaron Rodgers. He likes the quarterback's coach. There's no reason to believe it's not like, well, Aaron Rodgers hasn't reached his potential. He's playing as well as any quarterback ever.
Right.
Why would you even make this move if Aaron Rodgers doesn't want you to?
Who is the head coach of Green Bay Packers?
Say it again?
Who's the head coach of Green Bay Packers?
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy has coached more quarterbacks than Aaron Rodgers has had good coaches. So Mike McCarthy is a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. So there's no need to tell Aaron, but I am going to inform him as far as the organization and how we're going to move forward. Because I believe a lot of the stuff, Mike McCarthy, he has done it in the past, and he can take on some of that burden because he's calling the plays in Green Bay.
So to be clear, because you said no reason to tell him, you're saying there's no reason to ask his permission, but you've got to run it by him.
You don't know. No, the National Football League, not about that. I don't care how good the players are. Peyton Manning, I don't care. Tom Brady. If I'm deciding to fire a guy as the head coach, no, I don't have to go to the star to tell him that.
Let me ask you this, though, CeCe. When you were at the Vikings, if they were changing wide receivers coaches, they wouldn't ask your blessing for it? I understand not head coaches or coordinator, but wide receivers coach? Wouldn't. No? Wow.
No, Denny Green, I had a job, all right? Run the locker room. He ran the team, okay? I ran the locker room. He ran the team. Okay. He controlled the coaches. He controlled the personnel. And there wasn't a time that we had a relationship that he didn't make that very, very clear.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Would not have thought that.
Yeah, me neither. That's fine.
All right, back to the New England Patriots. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes things are better with a friend by your side. Look at Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Together, they're headed to their 8th Super Bowl. Together, they won 223 games since Brady took the reins in the 2001 season. And together, they have made owner Bob Kraft a very happy and a very rich man. Bill Belichick spoke glowingly about his quarterback earlier in the week.
Well, there's no quarterback I'd rather have playing for my team than Tom Brady, so glad I have him.
You didn't expect like more than an 8-second sentence.
I mean, that was about as loving as you get from one Bill.
That was a ton. That might as well have been a Hallmark card. Nick, let me start with you. Do you think this could be Brady and Belichick's last game together? Forget Super Bowl, but just last game together as we move on to next season?
All right, so that would mean either Brady or Belichick are either retired or somewhere else next year. So we know that Brady is not retiring and that Brady is not going anywhere. So you can remove him from the equation. I feel like we know that Bill Belichick's not retiring. So then the only option left is, could Bill Belichick be somewhere else next year? Could he be? I don't think you can say it's 0%. And the reason I don't think you can say it's 0% is we would not know. We do not know, I should say, how bothered Belichick is by everything that's gone down the last few weeks. From the Seth Wickersham report up to what we discussed yesterday, which was Jonathan Kraft, saying Brady's going to be done when he wants to be done. I mentioned at the end of the show yesterday, power is a zero-sum game. And when one person gains power, that person being Tom Brady, someone has to have lost it. That would have been Bill Belichick. My guess is that overall he's very happy where he's at. But the reason I say we wouldn't know his happiness level is Belichick's not going to let anything distract him or the team from the objective at hand, which is winning the game Sunday. Now, if he is really bothered by this, he will have endless options. So could this be their last game together? I'm not going to say there's no chance. I think it's very small, but yeah, I think this could be their last game together, depending on how much Bill Belichick cares that the paradigm has shifted slightly from him, as CeCe mentioned, totally running the team like Denny Green did, to him running all facets of the team except for his star quarterback.
I think this is a non-issue. I think there's 0% chance that this is their last game. You said if Bill Belichick won it, but he doesn't want to. I don't believe what you said, that there's endless options, because there's not owners that would just give him carte blanche. There's not teams that he could just take over and fill it with a staff. He can't change the personnel department. He can't change the way they do things just overnight. It has taken him almost 20 years to build the business of the New England Patriots. He can't go anywhere else. He can't run that system just anywhere. It's just like the greatest people at doing something, we always try to find them another job. Nick Saban, every month, he's going somewhere else to Alabama. No, these guys are icons in their business, and they've had failure at other places. They realize this is the best path for them to victory. They're doing what they want to do. Both of them are at the height of their profession. When are we going to stop doing this from a media standpoint? These people are not quitting. You don't become these type of iconic figures and just walk away from football. This is their life. This is their contribution. They are teachers. Where else can they teach football like this? If they were educators, if they were professors, they would be teaching at graduate school. What is graduate school? That is Alabama. That is the New England Patriots. So I think this is a non-issue. I think Tom Brady and Bill Belichick get the opportunity to win a couple more Super Bowls, and I'm looking forward to watching them.
Go ahead, Gina.
But Nick, don't you think that even with all this off-field kind of conversation about what's happening, and there's maybe a little dissension in the ranks and maybe who's really in charge and whatnot, don't you think all three are better off with all three in place?
Oh, yeah,
don't you think
absolutely.
Brady is at his best with Belichick, and Belichick is at his best with Robert Kraft? And all three of them need all three of them in place for this machine to work. So we can dance around and assume that maybe this one, this. But if all three aren't in place, this isn't the same product as if they go elsewhere.
I agree, and I don't think anyone's going anywhere. The point that I'm trying to make is that if Belichick were furious, just broiling with anger about the Garoppolo thing, we wouldn't know it. Like, Belichick is amazing at staying focused at the task at hand. So I agree with Chris that this is, I didn't put it at 0%, so I guess I don't 100% agree with Chris. But for the most part, there's no reason to believe this is their last game. The point that I'm making is, with most guys, take the guy we talk about all the time in the NBA, with LeBron. When LeBron's upset about something, we know it. He's subtweeting. He's saying weird quotes. Like, Belichick's the opposite. He's not letting any distractions come into place. I want to talk about one other side of this with you, CeCe, before we move on. And that is how amazing it is that Tom Brady, who's 40 years old, and he's favored to win his 6th Super Bowl on Sunday, that the discussion about Brady retiring does not exist. That Brady has made it so clear to the world, I can keep playing at this level, I want to keep playing at this level,
and I will
keep playing at this level, that the idea that he's going to do the John Elway and walk out on top, it does not exist. It existed more last year going into that Super Bowl. So at least a bit of a question. Could Brady retire if he finally breaks Montana and Bradshaw's 4 Super Bowl record? This year, he has made it clear through his documentary, through his own marketing stuff, and through his level of play, he has no interest in walking away. It's amazing that he has essentially rendered that storyline moot.
Last year, it was not on the board. That was a media-created question. Like, if there's no question that he's not going to walk off at the Super Bowl 52, well, how in the heck do we think that after being suspended for the start of his 16th season and then culminating with coming back from 28-3, that it would be on the board? Like, this is all just stuff created. He has told us, and he's been telling us for 3 years. He just didn't just start with the TB12, the Tom versus time. Tom Brady has been saying this for 3 years, that he wanted to play until his mid-40s. His wife admitted it a couple times, and Tom Brady's been consistent about it. We just keep trying to get Tom to do something else. But Tom is doing what he's called to do, and that's pick up them Lombardi trophies.
All right. All right, we'll take a break. Coming up, let's talk about some basketball. KD had some strong words when it came to LeBron last night. We'll discuss next on First Things First.